fisherman knew the truth. He said those were the bodies of Palestinians who were killed in 1948. His father and grandfather told him about a terrible massacre that happened on this exact beach. They told him that the dead were buried in mass graves. In fact, one of those large graves sits right under the parking lot of that beautiful vacation resort. All of this happened before the resort was built and before the land was given a new name. It happened when this place was a peaceful Palestinian fishing village called Tantura. Back then, about 1,500 people lived there. They made a living by fishing and farming. It was a very quiet, simple, and beautiful home. After the war, a wall of silence covered the village for over 50 years. The official story in Israel said there was just a regular battle between two armies. The story claimed that the local people simply chose to leave, and then new settlers moved in. That false story stood until a university student started asking questions in 1998. He tracked down and interviewed the old soldiers who actually took over the village. When these old soldiers talked, the truth came out. There was no real battle. The villagers tried to defend themselves, but they had almost no weapons and no military training. Their resistance was crushed almost instantly. When the villagers surrendered, it did not save them. Instead, it was the start of a terrible massacre. The soldiers went into the village and separated the men from the women. They took all the money and jewelry from the women. Then, they forced the women to leave the village and walk away into the unknown with nowhere to go. Next, the soldiers forced all the men down to beach, right by that old Arab house. They counted any boy over the age of 13 as a grown man. Right there on the shore, the execution started. Years later, these old soldiers talked about what they did in a documentary film. One soldier remembered putting people inside large barrels and shooting them. He said he still remembers seeing the blood fill the barrels. Another soldier said an officer pulled out his gun and started shooting the prisoners on the beach one by one. A third soldier actually laughed on camera. He said he was a killer and did not take prisoners. He said he had a machine gun with 250 bullets and used them all, but he never bothered to count how many people he killed. Remember, these are not the stories of the victims. These are the confessions of the killers themselves. These are the people who want to make their actions sound less evil. So imagine how much worse the real truth was.